Hey YouTube, I come to you today to tell you that the channel is changing. It's changing in a significant way, at least on the back end of things. And I wanted to let you guys know what it is that I'm going to be doing differently, as well as maybe just explaining how far we've come on this long journey of 1v1. If you guys have been here with me for a while, maybe you know some of this stuff. But I'm going to go over real quick, talk about how I do things now and how they're going to be changing in hopefully a significant, for the better way in the future, but in a way that I feel like I need to tell you guys. So if you guys didn't know, back in the day when I used to stream, I actually just streamed my own ranked gameplay. I didn't even stream show matches. I played ranked and I played tournaments, and I did that for a decently long time. In fact, I've got my Twitch tracker right here, which shows you the pink bars are how many hours I streamed in a month, and then the green bar is the average viewers I had. So if you guys see, I started streaming a long time ago in July 18th. I started streaming because Fortnite came out. Fortnite came out, I had to upgrade my computer in order to run it because I couldn't run like anything. It could literally only run Rocket League. But after I upgraded it, I could stream. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stream Rocket League. So I started streaming Rocket League, mostly just ranked, talking about my gameplay and stuff. If you see, you might have seen a tweet from me recently. There's a couple bumps in viewerships, real tiny. You have to look in. Looks like maybe I figured something out in those couple months. But actually, it was just a raid from Rizzo. I got a raid from Rizzo in one of those first few months. And then actually the next month I got a raid from Karma, which bumped up my average viewership. But as you can see, not a lot of people were interested in watching me play ranked at the beginning. I think I was champ 1, and I worked my way to grand champ, I don't know where, somewhere in there. So I don't think people were too necessarily excited about my own gameplay, but I stuck to it for a long time. And all the time when I was streaming, and I would always tell everybody, the money that I make from the stream is going to go right back into the stream. I'm not going to use it for anything else. If you sub to the channel, know that you're just trying to make the stream better. I'm not going to go waste it and be, I don't know, get something ridiculous. But the point was, you know what you're getting. So that was always the case. That was always the case for many, many years. I say many years because it was legitimately many years on the channel. As you can see, I streamed to almost nobody, 7, 8, 9 average viewers for a long time until December. You see, December, this month, I barely streamed. I got married that month. Then the next month, I came back. In the February after that, I decided I'm going to stream myself playing only once. I made a challenge for myself that I would only queue 1v1 the whole month in an attempt to improve. But what happened instead is that I hated the game. I started to rage big time. In fact, I raged so bad that I was like, man, I'm not having fun with this anymore. Streaming my gameplay isn't fun. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do show matches. I like watching Johnny Boy. I'm just going to do show matches like Johnny Boy does because I think that'll work for my stream better anyways, and I'm obviously not enjoying gameplay. So right around this time, March, I told myself that I was only going to go live with show matches, which was a novel trait to me. Of course, now you guys know that's the only thing I ever do. I've never gone live with something else. But at the time, I had never done that, and I switched over to that. And as you can see, I mean, not a lot different. Not a lot of people were super excited about my show matches when they started. But I did them for a while and ended up finding a player called Kinsey who was filthy. He was nasty. I could tell he was good, and I wasn't able to get him against good players. So I decided at the time, I had built up some money from having streamed those few years before, because even when you're not streaming to a lot of people, you usually pick up a few, very loyal followers who will either sub or donate or whatever. So I had amassed a little over $1,000, I think. And so I decided I'm going to go all in on the show matches. I'm going to use a chunk of it to upgrade my computer so that I can record and get good YouTube videos. And then I'm going to use the rest of it as a prize pool for a tournament, the Feer 500, my first tournament. And that was around May and April, right in here of the 20th. So that tournament went okay. As you can see, nothing crazy happened after that, but I did get an itch for continuing to run tournaments. So as I gained some more money and started, going onto YouTube as well, I ran a Feer 500 season 2, and that happened around January of 21. And so I didn't see a ton of success. But I was still keeping to the same philosophy. Money that I make on the stream, how much success it is, I'm going to put it right back into the stream in an attempt to get better games and et cetera, et cetera. So that has never changed. If you wonder how any of my tournaments have been funded, it's because of the Twitch stream doing well, the YouTube stream doing well. I've always kept that separate from what I do in my real life, as I call it. I do software engineering there, and that does just fine for me in terms of living. So I haven't ever needed any of the streaming revenue. But one of the crazy things that has started to happen is that I've started to approach what might be an opportunity to do this in the future as a job. Now, another goal that I had the whole time doing this was I always wanted to run a max prize pool tournament. I don't know if you guys know about the rules that Psyonix had for a really long time, but the majority of the time on this graph you see here, it was $5,000 was the limit. $5,000 prize pool is what a community could run without getting approval from them. So I was actually able to do that in FeerFest 2. You know, the money that the stream had $4,000. I couldn't get the last 1,000, but I had been pretty public about wanting to run a max prize pool, and the community actually ended up donating the last 1,000, which I very much appreciated. And I got my max prize pool tournament, which was one of my big goals. And then Psyonix bumped it. Psyonix bumped it up right after that. They bumped it up to 15,000 from 5,000. So I thought, you know what? We go again. We go again. You know, 15,000 seemed absolutely ridiculous. I didn't even really get 5,000 myself. So why would I think I'd be able to do 15,000? But that was always been my goal. They upped the bar. I'm going to try and reach it. So as time went on, I kept looking to plan, you know, a big tournament. And finally, I had the opportunity, you know, around this time of, sorry. Sorry about that. I was coughing there for a second, but I finally had the opportunity to potentially run one. And I decided to let the community decide the prize pool. As you guys know, the following was extremely surged, and I was able to get to the $15,000 max prize pool. So we're going to run it. We're going to run it. And as we run this tournament and we reach that final goal that I wanted to get to, we are going to make a big change going into 2023, which is Feer is going to start paying Ben. I've always referred to myself as two different people. There's the Feer that runs the stream, and all of his money stays in one pot, and he works towards making better tournaments, better streams, better buying stuff for the setup. And then Ben, you know, he lives his life, he eats food, and he pays for his mortgage and whatnot. So for the first time in the stream's history, starting next year, Feer is going to pay Ben a salary. And the reason why is because, one, I've been able to reach those huge goals that I never thought would be possible. But two, I think another goal that I think would never be possible is to just have it as a job. And it's almost becoming realistic to get there. So I think in order for me to understand that it's possible, and for my wife to understand that it's possible that I could do this, I need to start giving myself some kind of salary. So it's not going to be all the money that the stream makes. I'm not just going to turn it all right back into giving money to Ben, but it is going to be a big chunk as a way to start that off. I'm not going to stop working on software. I'm still doing that as well. But I want to see if I can pay myself. And I think ultimately it is still going to be for the better of the channel, for the better of the content. For the longest time, I almost wanted to feel guilt-free from getting donations and stuff when I knew that I was well off. Like, especially during the beginning when I had a software job, and there'd like be somebody like a 15 or 16-year-old who I knew was in the channel, and then they would like sub, or they would like gift 5 subs, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing, man? Like I don't need that at all. You know, I almost just felt guilty taking any sort of support. And so I think I got to protect against that by saying all the money that I get is not going to me. I'm just making better content so that this random kid who's paying me when I don't really need it is he's paying for more Rocket League, he's paying for better Rocket League, which makes sense. You know, that's a transaction I don't have to feel weird about. And now I'm going to start taking a full-on salary from Feer, which is going to be kind of crazy. And, you know, I don't know. I think I've kind of worked over that guilt a little bit because I've been able to convince myself that it would be better for the content if I could just do this as a job. It would just be better, period. You know, not just the fact that we... So yeah, that's the big change. I'm going to start taking a salary from Feer. I'm not going to stop working on software just yet, but this is the first step towards potentially stopping working on software and shifting towards doing Rocket League as a job. Hopefully you guys understand. Usually people have been pretty understanding. They're kind of like, telling me that I've trapped myself in this own mindset where nobody minds if I were to use any of the money on myself anyways. But I just want to let you guys know because it is a big change, and I've always said when asked that all the money goes back into the tournaments. Not going to be the case anymore. Ben is going to get some money from Feer in hopes that he can eventually become Feer and consume Ben, and there's no more Ben, and it's just Feer works as his caster, his casting job, his content job, as his only job. And that's the game plan. Sorry, I've been rambling on. If you guys listen to this stuff, I appreciate you. I know I'm putting this on the second channel and you're just listening to me rabble on. But thank you for sticking it here this long, listening to this whole thing. Hope you enjoy the content going forward.